grab yourself a nice big cup of tea, a nice big pint of squash, pint of Robinson's, a nice big whatever drink you fancy, because this video is going to be a long one. Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. I hope you are all doing good in the hood. This video is gonna be me talking about my top tips for Slimming World. I often get asked, what are your top tips? If you could give me 5 top tips, what would they be? So I thought that I would just collate them all together and pop them all in a video. So if you are interested in finding out what I believe the top tips to be successful on Slimming World are, then please carry on watching. So I'm going to try and keep this sort of like, not short and sweet, let's be honest, it's me. I ain't going to keep this sweet or short. No, I ain't going to keep this short because I just talk like, I just go on. But I just believe some of these tips I'm really passionate about, and I know some of them are like self-explanatory and it's like, well yeah, obviously that's a tip, but I've got 10 here which I will sort of like elaborate on and like, I don't know, just try and go into a lot of depth and reason why I believe it's a top tip. So the first one is a bit sort of like, not controversial, contradicting, I don't know the right word for it, but obviously at the moment with coronavirus and all of this stuff going on in the world with the pandemic, we can't go to group as we normally would have. Now, group for me was my top tip. Like, anyone said to me, what would your top tip be? It would be go to group, stay to group, regardless if it was a bad week, good week, whatever it may be, go to group and actually stay through image therapy and stay until the very end. Because I found when I was going to group religiously every single week, that is when I was most successful on my weight loss journey, because I had the support of members. I had the feeling in my head that it was like, right, you're gonna go to group this week, you're gonna feel so amazing when you see that loss on the scales, and then that helped me stay determined, stay on it essentially throughout the week. So my first top tip is ensure that you go to group. Now I know with coronavirus at the moment, groups are a lot different. I know in England, I think some groups you can actually stay and you can actually obviously be social distance between your other members. However, in Wales, which is where I live, at the moment we are only literally allowed to go away and then leave. But even that, and knowing that I'm sort of like getting on the scales every week, it does keep me accountable and it does keep me more motivated now, knowing that I've got to go to group, rather than when lockdown was on, there was no group. It was sort of me weighing at home. It was like, am I gonna weigh this week? Nah. And like, you know, you just kind of like lose that sort of focus and that sort of routine essentially. But now group is open, I feel my weight losses are a lot better, because during lockdown, if you didn't see it on my Instagram, I did put on 11 pounds during lockdown, and that was simply just from, you know, we all know why we gained weight during lockdown. However, since being back, I've lost that weight in a month. So that is because I was going to group every week. So I just find going to group is beneficial for me. I know everybody finds it different and some people don't see eye to eye with it, which is absolutely fine, and everybody's entitled to have that opinion. But for me, and if I was going to give advice to you, it would be to go to group every single week without fail, even if it was a bad week. Some of the benefits from going to group, there are so many. Obviously the support from your consultant and your members is so nice to sort of be in a room with people that are on the same journey as you, that have the same struggles as you, because they will motivate you. And when you see other people having success and you see that smile on their face when they get off the scales, or they've achieved an award, or somebody's got to their target, seeing that really does inspire you to sort of be like, I want to feel like how they're feeling. So the support of others, the motivation you get from others from seeing their success is one of the benefits the group has. Also, recipe ideas. I find quite a lot of my recipe ideas from other members in my Slimming World group. I also find new products. So often we'll have a little chat and it'd be like, oh, this week have you seen the new gravy pots, have you seen the new low sin crisps? And you just do tend to pick up a lot of product knowledge when you go to group. Another reason why I believe going to group is good is because you are kept up to date with the Slimming World plan from your consultant. So for example, if there's any changes within the plan, your consultant will tell you, and you know that it coming from your consultant is the absolute truth, because obviously they've been told by the head office of Slimming World. So with the whole regards to like healthy extras, if there's any sin changes, if there's any rules that change, you know, by going to group you're going to get the absolutely official information from head office, which is really important, rather than just seeing it on social media channels. I also really love group because, you know, say if you've had a really bad week and you've hit a wall and you've just fallen out of love with the plan, or you're following the plan and you're not seeing the losses you deserve and you're just fed up, then go into group. You will obviously be able to tell your consultant that during image therapy, and then the amount of support you will get from your consultant and your members, you will literally walk out of that room with a new head on your shoulders. You will just feel so motivated. So sometimes you put off going to group because you know it's going to be a gain. You know you've ate off plan, you know you're feeling a bit like, you just feel, when you know you've gained and you avoid going to group because you don't want to be told that you've gained or you don't want to see it on the scales. I really do, and I know it's so hard, and I've done it myself. Like, I've been like, no, I'm going to sack off group this week because I know it's going to be a gain. What's the point in me going to group when I know they're going to tell me I've gained £3? I know I'm going to feel like crap. But every time I do it and go to group and gain, when I walk out of that room, I am more determined than I've ever been. Whereas if I was to stay at home, know that I've gained, I'd carry on eating, and then I just make myself in a worse situation when I go back to group eventually, I don't know, like 3 weeks. So go into group, even though you've had a bad week or you've hit a wall, you will walk out of there really motivated, really inspired, and you will be so ready to get whatever gain you put on off the next week. Tip number 2, measure everything. I've been on Slim & Wood for so many years now, and I still every single day measure my Healthy Extra A and my Healthy Extra B. Without a doubt, I measure it. I will measure my cereal and I will make sure it gets to 40 grams. I have my scales out every single day. I really do. And it's so easy to like eyeball it and think, oh yeah, that looks like 40 grams of brown flakes, or oh yeah, that looks like 40 grams of sugar puffs, when really it could be 60, it could be 50 grams, and then that's sins that you don't know you're having and you're not counted for in the day. And little things like that, if you do them on a daily basis, that can really affect your weight loss. So just ensure that you are weighing your Healthy Extra A, your Healthy Extra B every single day. Make sure you're keeping on track of your sins. So I know sometimes I could be in a shop and I could look at it and I could think, oh yeah, that's only 95 calories, that's only going to be so and so sins, but still check, get your app out, scan it, check the sins, and just make sure you are being so strict. Like, when you want this weight loss so bad and you are so determined to do anything you can to just get to your goal, making these measurements every single day, as time consuming as it may be, as oh, I just really can't be bothered, oh, what's 50 more ml of milk gonna, it really does affect it if you're doing it a lot. Obviously, if you're, I don't know, if you're at a friend's house and they don't have scales and you're having some brown flakes, like, obviously, don't worry too much, like, just obviously try and measure it to what you think it looks like it would be. But if you're doing this every single day and you're not measuring, then you might be having sins that you might not know you're having, you're not counted for, and then that might affect or jeopardize your weight loss. Talking about healthy extras as well, this sort of tip lies in within tip 2, is healthy extra A's and B's. There are so many you can have. There are so many different Healthy Extra B's, so many different Healthy Extra A's. I really personally do think, now no one's ever really told me this from Slim & Wood like head office, or I haven't been sort of recommended this, but I personally believe that it's important to mix up your Healthy Extra A's and B's. 1, because otherwise you're going to get bored of having the same thing and then you might fall off the plan. 2, I do think it's important for your body to have different kinds of foods every single day. Obviously not every single day, but as much as you can, because otherwise your foods might get used to, I don't know, this might be absolute BS and you might be thinking, what are you chatting about, Chloe? But I do believe having different Healthy Extra A's and B's can really help your weight loss. It'll help you keep more excited because you're trying new things, and your body will appreciate it because you're not having the same foods all the time. So tip 3 kind of falls off of tip 2 when I mean like measure and make sure you're being really strict. Make sure that you are writing everything that you eat down. Like, you don't realize until you write down everything every single day that it really does make a difference to you sticking on plan and to you really being knowledgeable and accountable for what you are eating. It will also show you, like, if you're writing your breakfast, your lunch and your dinner down and you're writing literally every single thing that you had. So like, say for example you had the spag bowl and you had the mince, you want to write the onions, you want to write the peppers, because then you can see that you're having a speed. Same with like breakfast. Obviously you'll be having your Healthy Extra A and your Healthy Extra B, and then you might be able to see on some weeks, say if you do have your Healthy Extra A and B for breakfast and you also have some fruit as well, you might then be able to go back and say, do you know what, that week I had a really good weight loss, what did I eat? And then you can go back and look and you can think, all right, okay, so for breakfast I added speed to my week, and that maybe is what helped me get my weight loss. It's just things like that. You'll be able to always look back on what you've eaten, and you'll always be able to see if you're having enough speed, if you're within your sins, if you're having enough sins, if you're using your Healthy Extra A and B. And it's just really, it's almost like one of those visual tools that you see and you look and you think, right, okay, at the end of the day is when I tend to write it down. Some people tend to write it down as soon as they eat it, which is absolutely fine, whatever works for you, but I know that I'm busy all the time, like I haven't got time to whack my planner out, and I like doing it on an evening when I can get my stickers, my highlights, my colours out. So Writing everything down really will make a difference. Now, if you haven't tried it, don't knock it, do it, give it a go, let me know what you think. Anything you can really write it in. Like, I've got a really nice princess planning planner, which I will leave link down below, which I swear by because it's pretty, it's nice, I've got all my stickers, and that's just sort of fun way that I see it. However, you can literally write it on a piece of paper, you can write it on your phone, wherever you want to write it, just write it down and tell me if you see a difference, because it is one of the biggest tools out there that you can do. And not only that, if you write things down and you're not seeing the losses you deserve, you can then give that to your consultant, because this is obviously the service that they should be providing you with. You can give that to your consultant and say, look, this is what I've had this week, I've gained, can you tell me maybe where I've gone wrong? And then that gives your consultant a bit of information to see what you've eaten, and then they might be able to sort of highlight an area for you to improve on, which then might help your weight loss in the future. Tip number 4 is to try as many new recipes as possible. It is so easy for us Slimming Worlders to have the standard spag bowl, chili con carne, god, what else do we have all the time? Lasagna, Mayflower chicken curry. Like, all these amazing family favorite recipes are absolutely ace, of course, and they are delicious, and you can have them on Slimming World, which is amazing. However, when you are doing Slimming World, for me, it's not a diet, it's more of a healthy lifestyle change, which I'm gonna follow. I've been following for years, and I don't see myself not following it for the next, I don't know, however long. So it is really important for me, and I believe it's really important for everybody, to try new recipes as much as you can to keep yourself interested. Again, to ensure you're having new foods, your body's having some new vegetables, some new meats, whatever it may be. It is so important to really mix up your weekly planning meal, just because you will get bored if you're eating the same spag bowl, chili. It's just so important, and I just feel like there are so many amazing recipes, so many amazing creators out there on YouTube, on Instagram, on just general websites, Slimming World websites. There are so many recipes out there for you to try. You'll never get bored. And I know sometimes some recipes might, yeah, but that takes ages, I haven't got that sort of ingredients. Like, oh, let's just do a spag bowl. I know, and I'm guilty of it, I know in my head, like, I absolutely get that, and I know that why you might be put off from trying different exotic recipes, may I add, or whatever it may be, like just something like a bit just out of your comfort zone. But I cannot express enough how important it is to just try new recipes. Keep yourself inspired, keep yourself interested. If you're just sticking with the same ones, you're gonna get bored. So really do push the boat out, even if it's one a week. Like, for example, if you've got like a routine that's working for you and you have to feed the kids to keep them happy, and you know that if you're gonna cook something real spicy or something real exotic, the kids aren't gonna like it, just maybe challenge yourself for one meal a week that is sort of different. Or on a weekend, I don't know, make a different fakeaway that you maybe have never done before. Just really pushing yourself out of your comfort zone. You will see better results, because you'll be more interested in the plan, because you can eat more foods and different foods, and you might then fall in love with a recipe that you've challenged yourself to try. And then you might be thinking, I've been doing Slimming World for 45 years and I've never had that recipe before, and that's my favorite recipe. So just push yourself out of your comfort zone and try them new recipes. Tip number 5 is to take photos before photos. If you're at the start of your journey, my biggest tip, and I wish I had done it at the start of my journey, was taking more before photos. Like, you know, because I was so self-conscious and I just absolutely hated the way I looked, I would never take photos of myself. I would just shy away from any camera. If there was a camera near me, I'd be like, absolutely not, Felicia, see you later, I am not getting in that photo. Like, crop me out, you can post it, but you are not posting me in that photo, because, you know, you all understand, I don't need to explain. So I never really took any before photos. It was only sort of those photos that people took of me that I have on my phone that I think, oh god, they're my before photos. So if you are starting your journey, just maybe get your partner to take some photos of you from the front, from the side, from the back. Measurements is also absolutely key. Get yourself down to IKEA, ignore the meatballs, and get yourself one of those measuring tapes, you know, you can get, or Princess Pan do actually do one as well, which I'll link down below. Get yourself a measuring tape and just measure yourself at the start of your journey. Even if you're midway through now, sometimes you see differences in inches on your body rather than what it says on the scales, and sometimes we can become demotivated from what it says on the scales because we're not seeing the losses. However, we know in ourselves that we've definitely lost weight because we feel smaller. Yes, you might be losing inches, but the scales might be saying something different. So tip 5 is to measure, is to take photos, and just have those things to be able to look back on when you might not see the results that you deserve on the scales. Tip number 6, now this is a video that I am going to do a lot more of. I've got it planned and I know that it will help some people. So my top tip So tip 6 is to batch cook. Not only will this keep you full, it will keep you being able to grab foods it's already done. It also just keeps things cheaper as well for you. Like, I know with Slimming World, like I noticed at the start with Slimming World, like it can be really expensive because you're buying fresh fruit, fresh veg, fresh everything basically all the time, whereas before, when not following the plan, you might have been having frozen meals, you might have been having jars of stuff, which is obviously a lot cheaper. So just by batch cooking and having like a massive, I don't know, aubergine lasagna, or a massive curry, a sweet potato curry, or I don't know, all these different things that you can batch cook, just pop them in the freezer and then you're good to go. So what I tend to do on a Sunday is, if I've got time, I will literally spend like 4 hours batch cooking loads of food. I will plan out what I'm taking to work. So what I'll do is I'll have half of the stuff in my fridge ready to take to work, and I'll have half the stuff in the freezer just there as an emergency. And then once I've run out of that fridge food, I can always take out the freezer the night before work, let it defrost overnight, then I'm ready, I've got something for work. So just having a batch cook, you always know if you get in from a really long day at work and the last thing you want to do is stand in front of the hob and cook something, oh, I've got a leftover chili in the fridge, or oh, I've got a leftover risotto in the fridge. You can literally microwave, put some salad on, and you're good to go. So I know sometimes you really don't want to batch cook, especially when it's your day off work. Like, the last thing you want to do is be slaving away in the kitchen. But if you do make those sacrifices, and if you do take the time to batch cook, then it will really benefit you in the long run, because it's all there for you. You haven't got to worry about cooking basically. So yeah, batch cook, get yourself loads of Tupperware containers. Like, you can go to Poundland, I swear, like all my love from Poundland, IKEA, wherever it may be that you get your Tupperware boxes from, just get loads of them. You can write on the top with a Sharpie what the food is, when you made it if you want to, and yeah, just having a stock full in the fridge and in the freezer of good wholesome foods that are really on plan, going to keep you nice and full, and just going to keep you determined and organized essentially. Tip 7, now this is one that I always do. You know, when, to be honest, like, it's a bit like meh. So when I first started my journey, I was super strict, like absolutely super strict. Like, if I was going out with friends for food, I would be like so strict. I would absolutely make sure I'm on plan and everything like that, and that worked obviously for me to get all of the weight off, like because I was so strict at the start. Now I do allow myself to have a treat every now and then, because I don't go out all the time, like I really don't, and if I do go for food, I might have what I actually fancy. Whereas before, I found that sometimes, you know, when you're so determined and you don't want to miss out on social events because you love going out with your friends, but you are so in the zone and you think sometimes, oh, maybe if I do go out, is that really gonna like ruin the whole week, and then when I get home, because I've had an off-planned dinner, I'm gonna just eat the whole world. Like, I completely get that mindset, like, because I'm like that as well. Whereas I found that, say for example, if we were going to a restaurant and I knew exactly where we were going, I would look on the website before going and choose what I was going to have before going. I then found that when I was in the restaurant and I was handed the menu, I wouldn't need to look at it. I wouldn't need to be tempted by all of the naughty food, because I knew in my head I was going to have the steak with a jacket potato. So if you are so in the zone and you are so determined and you're putting off social events because you're worried that you might feel as though you're going to select a meal that might not be Slimming World friendly, maybe just have a little look at the menu before, make your mind up, make your decision. Then when you go and sit down and all your friends are asking you what you're going to have, and they're all umming and ahhing whether they're going to have the burger or the fish and chips, you know exactly what you're going to have. And then I can express the sort of feeling that you feel inside once you've had your meal, which is delicious steak and jacket potato, or if you're going to have the gammon but ask them not to cook it in much oil. Like, there's so many different things. Nando's, you're going to have the chicken and the spicy rice and the salad. Once you've eaten that good food and you've enjoyed it, you feel so accomplished inside and you feel so good. Whereas if you just had a bad meal just because you didn't really see anything on the menu and you were like, oh, is it going to be too much effort to ask them to like swap my chips for my salad, or is it going to be too much effort for asking them to not put much oil in when cooking my steak? Like, sometimes when you leave that restaurant, you just don't feel great. And I've done it 100 billion. Why did I do that? The food, I would have much preferred the way I feel after a jacket potato and steak over, like, I don't know, nachos to start, like a burger and then a pudding. Do you know what I mean? So sometimes if you are really in the zone and you don't want to jeopardize your weight loss, you're having an absolutely amazing week, but you don't want to miss out on going out with the girls, then just look at the menu before going, suss out exactly what you're going to have, and when you get there you can say to the kind lady or sir, thank you my love, I will have the jacket potato. Tip number 8 is to set mini goals. With Slimming World, you will get asked for an interim goal. So that's basically like a goal that you might want to reach, not like your end goal, like your goal at the very end. It might be like a halfway point, or it might be something that you feel might be more achievable in a shorter amount of time, rather than getting overwhelmed by an end goal that might feel like a million miles away, and you might feel you're never ever going to reach that. So then, because you feel in your head you're never ever going to reach that, you give up with the plan because you feel like the goal is unachievable. So if I was to give you a tip, it would be to make smaller goals, smaller interim goals, whether it be a goal at the end of every month, whether it be a goal now until Christmas. By Christmas I want to lose half stone, by Christmas I want to lose a stone, rather than, oh my god, I want to lose 7 stone to get to my goal weight. Because sometimes in your head, when you think, I've got 7 stone to lose, how on earth am I going to do it, you might give up because you might feel like the goal is unachievable. Whereas if you set like a smaller goal in a short amount of time, you might feel more motivated to reach that goal. Then once you've reached that interim goal, you'll be ready to set your next goal. So sometimes splitting up your goals within months, within years, however long it takes you, it does not matter. Setting smaller goals that are more achievable will keep you more determined. It will keep you more believing in yourself, that makes sense, because they are going to be more achievable, because they're not going to be like your end goal, which might take however long. Not gonna lie, I'm getting a bit hot now. We're nearly there. So 2 more tips left. Tip number 9 is to never compare your journey to anybody else's. It is so easy for us to compare our journey to everybody else's. I've done it, I'm guilty for it. I still kind of struggle with it now. For example, if you start your Slimming World journey with a friend, with your mum, whoever it may be, or you see someone on social media starting at the same time you're starting it, and then you see them week 1, they've lost 8 pounds and you've only lost 4. Instantly, you're like hammering yourself, why haven't I lost 8 pounds like that person? Now, everybody's body is different. It is so important to know that. It's so important to sort of tell your mind that everybody's body is different. Everybody's body is going to lose weight different amount of times. So some person might lose weight really quick, some person might lose weight really slowly, and it's absolutely fine. It's just really important to drill that into your head that everybody's body is different, and never compare your losses, your gains, your success, the time it's taken you, the time is anything like that. Never compare yourself to anybody else. It is so hard with all these amazing Slimming World Instagram accounts, YouTube account, whatever it may be. This is why, like, sometimes I shy away from sharing my losses every week, because I would never want anyone to think or compare their losses or gains to mine, because like I said, everybody's different. For example, I could show you all my food plan for the week. You could eat exactly the same as me, and we could go to the group together, same time, we've eaten exactly the same, and it can be completely different weight losses. So just maybe use that example in your head if you are getting so fixated on what other people are doing, and just focus on you. Just remind yourself that you are doing all you can, you are following the plan like you should be, you are writing everything down like you should be, and your body is so different to every single other person out there. So just never compare your success, your losses, your gains to anybody else. And then the last tip, my friends, my pals, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, is to know your self-worth. You are obviously on a Slimming World plan to better yourself. You are obviously doing it for you, and you need to constantly remind yourself throughout your whole journey that you are doing it for you. You need to remind yourself on a daily basis why you're doing it. Are you feeling unhappy? Are you feeling unhealthy? Is it for your health? Is it for your mental health? Is it for your family? Is it for... There's so many reasons that people are on this journey and people are choosing to lose weight. So many different reasons, so many personal reasons, so many reasons that are the same. There are so many reasons, and as hard as it is, it really is hard. And if losing weight wasn't hard, then we would all be stick thin, and Slimming World wouldn't exist, and all these things wouldn't exist, and the amazing platform of social media for weight loss wouldn't exist. But it can be really overwhelming, and it can take up a lot of your time, a lot of your money, and just a lot. It is a lot, it is overwhelming, but you've got to remind yourself that you are worth it. You are worth those 4 hours on a Sunday evening batch cooking. You are worth going to group every single week, even if it takes an hour, 2 hours out of your week. You are worth that. And I know it's easy for me to say that because I haven't got any children, I don't have like responsibilities. Like, I absolutely get that, and I appreciate it's so hard for people to fit it in. But you really do need to try and make those sacrifices, try and make those plans for childcare or things like that when you are due to go to group, because you are worth it. You as an individual are worth it. Your self-worth is there, and I cannot stress enough that once you get to your goal, or once you're feeling good, you just feel like a totally different person. Like me, like reverse like 6 years ago, I was a completely different person to what I am today. Like I am probably the happiest I've ever been because of Slimming World and because of the weight I have lost. Like obviously there's loads of other reasons in my life that I'm happy for and things like that, and lots of things have changed and I've grown up, but I sort of really did focus on knowing that I was worth this time, I was worth this effort, I was worth the highs, the lows, whatever it may be that Slimming World or not just Slimming World, any weight loss journey might bring you, the feelings it may bring you. Just remind yourself that you are worth the money, the time, the hours it takes to do it, and I believe in every single one of you, I really do. So thank you so much for watching. I really hope this video has helped you. Like I said, and I know I say all the time like I said, but like I said, it is self-explanatory. Some of the things I've said are like, well, obviously Chloe, like yeah, you're gonna have to go to group and yeah, you're gonna have to measure, but I try to like elaborate on quite a lot of the points and the tips just to give you a reason into why I believe they are important. And I hope that this video may have inspired somebody to just really like be really strict with it, because you do. If you want to be successful on your weight loss journey, you do have to be strict, you do have to put the time in, and you do have to put the effort in. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for the love as always. I really appreciate it. You have no idea, and I will see you guys for another video very soon. If you do also have any video recommendations that you would like me to film, please do drop them in the comments down below. But thank you so much. I will see you soon and take care. Bye.